Right hand if you're going to testify today. I guess I got a clerk on here, don't I? Oh, there you are. Go ahead.
Or
I
affirm
think
the
you
testimony you're giving.
go ahead.
Oh, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you're giving today is true and correct? So help you God.
I do. All right, so you put your hand down and we'll go to cause number 68, the state of Arlene, David Sprague. Good morning, Mr. Davidson. And
Good morning, Your Honor.
And you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm going to call my first witness, Melissa Ann Del Toro. Please state your name for the court.
Melissa Ann Del Toro.
And what was your relationship to the decedent Arlene David Sprague?
We were best friends for 55 years, since 1969.
So you would say you were intimately familiar with her marital and family history?
Yes,
And how many times was she married?
twice.
She was married to David Joseph Sprague,
Yes, and then Mark Trail.
and her marriage to David ended in divorce,
Yes,
as did her marriage to Mark.
yes.
And were there any children born to or adopted by her in either of these marriages?
No, she had one by David Joseph Aaron Sprague.
Okay. Who is the applicant in this proceeding? Were you aware as to whether or not she had a last will and testament?
No, she did not.
Okay, you guys had discussed that?
Yes, we had discussed that. We were in the process of doing that. And I had talked to an attorney about it.
And had she ever taken any kids into her house and raised them as her own and promised to adopt them?
No,
And as far as you know, there were no other children that she had.
there was none.
You don't have an interest in this estate, do you?
No,
And you're not being paid to testify today, are you?
no.
Your Honor, I pass the witness.
Your Honor, may I proceed?
You may proceed.
Okay. Did you do any type of diligent search? Can you hear me?
Hang on, Lacey, let me turn this volume up a little bit. Okay,
Okay. Just I want to reiterate, y'all, you knew that there was not a will, is that correct?
yes, she said there's not a will, correct?
Correct, there's no will.
Okay. And do you know if there was any type of search done at the house to see if there was a will?
What was that? I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna be repeating some of your
It's okay.
questions. She said, do you know if there was a diligent search of the house made to see if there was a will?
Yes,
Okay.
but she had told me directly there was no will, because we talked about getting one while she was in her rehabilitation home.
And you would have known if she had any other children besides Joseph Aaron, correct?
What was
You
that?
would have known if she had any other children besides Joseph Aaron.
Yes, 100% I would have known.
All right. That's all I have.
Your Honor, I passed the witness and I want to make sure my next witness is online. I'm calling Amy Bench Henshaw.
Yes, sir. I'm here. Can you hear me?
Great. And you've been sworn, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And Amy, what was your relationship to Arlene?
She was my aunt.
And so I'm gonna ask you the same questions. She was married twice, is that right?
That's correct.
And those both ended in divorce?
Correct.
And to the best of your knowledge, there was not a last will and testament, was there?
Not to my knowledge.
And had she ever discussed that with you?
No.
And of her two marriages, there was only one child born of that marriage, is that right? And that was Joseph Aaron Sprague?
That's correct.
Any other kids that she took into her home and raised as her own?
No, sir.
You don't have an interest in this estate, do you?
No, sir.
And you're not being paid for your time today, are you?
No, sir.
Your Honor, I pass this witness.
I just want to turn around and just ask also, would you have known if the decedent had any other children besides Joseph Aaron?
Yes, I would have known.
Okay. And that's all I have for this witness, Your Honor.
That's
Your Honor, I'm ready to move on to the independent administration if you're content with the heirship.
okay. And see, Ms. Rendon signed off on the judgment declaring heirship. And I'm going to approve that and you may move on, counsel.
Okay, call the applicant Joseph Aaron Sprague. Mr. Sprague, you here this morning? I'm sorry, there you are. You're top right of my screen. I see you up there. Please state your name for the court. It sounds like you're muted, Mr. Sprague. It doesn't look like you are, but I can't hear you. I'm still not hearing anything.
And I'm not either, so.
Judge, it's Marangely. If there's another Bluetooth device that's around, sometimes the audio will connect to something else. Earbuds, headphones.
Hear that, Mr. Sprague? Sprague, did you hear what Marangely said? Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. Mr. Davidson, if you'll mute yourself, maybe give him a call and see if you can get him working, please.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, cause number 82, the state of Robert Ellis Dubose Jr. Mr. McCall, good morning,
Morning, Judge.
Morning.
and you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your name is Polly Clement, is that correct?
Correct,
Your dad was Robert Ellis Dubose Jr.
correct.
Travis, you went mute. I don't know what the heck's going on. Could hear you at first. Try it again.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
I'll try to keep my voice up, Your Honor.
Yeah, all right.
I don't know how much of that you got. Your dad was Robert Ellis Dubose Jr.
Correct,
and he passed away on July the 16th of this year.
correct.
And he had his fixed place of residence in Chambers County on the day he passed away.
Yes, he did.
And he didn't have a will.
No,
And you made a diligent search for that,
We
and there
did.
is no will.
There
In
is
fact, y'all talked about it while he was alive, and you encouraged him to get a will,
that's
and
correct.
he flat just refused to get a will. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And you have filed an application to determine heirship with the court,
Yes, I have.
and your dad was married twice.
Mhm.
And the
Correct.
first marriage was to your mother, Rose Cormier,
Correct.
and there was 3 children born of that marriage.
That's right.
You have brother Robert Ellis Dubose III and Sharon Champagne. Is that correct?
Correct.
And there were no other children born of that marriage.
No,
He didn't adopt any other children from
no,
that
he did
marriage.
not.
And he and your mom divorced. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And he was married a second time to Sue Ellen Dubose. Is that correct?
Correct. That is correct.
And she had some children from a prior marriage.
Yes, she did.
And some of those kids actually moved in and lived with your dad, but
Yes, sir.
he never adopted any of those children.
No, he did not.
Never promised to adopt any of those
No,
children.
he did not.
Okay. And you're here today asking that the court approve your application to show that you and your 2 siblings are the only 2 heirs of that marriage. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That's all I have with this witness, Your Honor.
All right, call your next witness.
Okay. Your name is Steve Hodges,
That's correct.
and you're Lamont Moe. Is that correct?
sir.
And y'all are both familiar with the marital and family history of Robert Ellis Dubose Jr.
I am.
And y'all familiar with the fact that he was married twice,
That's correct.
and he had 3 children from his first marriage,
That's correct.
and he didn't adopt any other children during that marriage.
That is correct.
And they divorced, and then he was married a second time to Sue Ellen Dubose,
Yes, sir.
and he didn't adopt any of those children.
Correct.
Okay, so the only children he had were Polly Clement, Robert Ellis Dubose III, and Sharon Champagne.
Yes, sir.
And there were no other children adopted to him.
That's correct.
And y'all had an opportunity to review your affidavit showing the marital and family history of Robert. Is that correct?
Yes, correct. Yes.
And all that information is true and correct.
To the best of my knowledge, yes.
Okay, that's all I have, Your Honor.
Mr. Dawson.
Yes, thank you. Dick Dawson speaking. I'm the attorney ad litem, and I'm supported by the court to identify those heirs known and unknown And that's a requirement under for heirship. You and I have talked before, is that correct?
Yes, sir. That is
Okay,
correct.
and that's Polly speaking, right?
Correct.
Okay, and what kind of business was your dad in?
He has an automotive, he sells parts and ag stuff, automotive business.
And did you ever work in the business?
Yes, sir, I have been there since,
For how many years?
I started my last 2 years in high school in 1978, and in 1980 I went full-time, so I've been there for quite a while.
Okay, so
present.
you would have regular and frequent contact with your dad, and
Yes, sir,
you would
every
know.
day.
All right, and he had 3 kids and only 3 kids, right?
That is correct.
And that would be you, and then Robert, also known as Bob, and who's the other one?
Sharon,
And
Champagne.
all the kids are aware of this proceeding, is that correct?
That is correct.
And they're in agreement with this proceeding, is that correct?
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And you've never been convicted of a criminal offense other than maybe some minor traffic violations?
So I think
No,
you
I
froze.
have not.
There you go. Froze
And-
up for a minute.
Okay, you have no criminal convictions, right?
That is correct.
And, okay. And, that's all I have. I'm sorry for your loss, ma'am.
Thank you.
As a witness.
All right. Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. You've also filed an application to be the independent administrator of the estate, is that correct?
Yes, that is
And
correct.
you working with your dad, you were familiar with the business and
Mhm.
everything, and you're logically the right person to do this, is that right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And you and your 2 siblings, Bob and Sharon, have both signed waivers and consents, and they're requesting that the court approve your application to be the independent administrator.
That is correct.
And those will be filed with the court. Those have already been filed with the court.
Mhm.
And you're here today asking that the court approve your application to be the independent administrator.
Yes.
And you're not disqualified in any way from doing that. You're not a felon or
No.
anything like that.
No.
Okay, that's all I have, Judge.
Any questions for the witnesses?
I have nothing further. I believe Mr. McCall and his client has agreed with ad litem fees.
Yes, Your Honor.
Nothing
Someone
further.
approve the judgment declaring heirship, that line of fee, and grant independent administration authorized letter. Thank you all.
Thank
Thanks,
you,
Judge.
Have a good day.
All
You
right,
too.
good day.
All right, cause number 91, the state of Deborah S. Merritt. Good morning, Mr. Lake.
Okay, now I'm unmuted.
Yeah, there you go. And you may proceed.
All right. Your name is John Raymond Merritt?
That's correct.
And Judge, can you hear us okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Deborah Merritt, the deceased, is your sister, or was your sister?
Yes.
And Deborah Merritt passed away on August 12th, 2024 at the age of 55 years. Is that correct?
Yes.
And 4 years have not elapsed, obviously, since that time, correct?
Correct.
And Deborah was domiciled and had a fixed place of residence in Beach City, Chambers County, Texas at the time of her passing. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is it your testimony that the court has jurisdiction venue of Deborah Merritt's estate?
Yes.
Citation has been served on everyone required and in the manner and for the length of time required by the Texas Probate Code. Do you agree?
Yes.
Now, Deborah signed her will on November 15, 2023. Is that correct?
Yes.
And in her last will and testament, she appointed you, John Raymond Merritt, to serve as independent executor, to serve independently without bond or security. Is that correct?
Yes.
And you are not disqualified in any way, shape, or form from issuance and accepting letters testamentary, are you?
No.
To the best of your knowledge, Deborah Merritt's will was never revoked. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And there's no state or governmental agency or charitable organization named in the will as a devotee or beneficiary. Is that correct?
Correct.
After the date of the will, no child was born or adopted to Deborah. Is that correct?
That's correct.
In fact, Deborah had no children. Is that correct?
Correct.
And there was no marriage of Deborah Merritt ever dissolved after the will was made. Is that correct?
Correct.
In fact, she was never married. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. To the best of your knowledge, has proof required for probate been made, and you are not disqualified from accepting letters testamentary and serving as executor. Is that correct?
Correct.
Judge, we ask the court probate will and order that the letters testamentary be issued. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Counsel. You guys have a good day.
Thank you, Judge.
All right, let's go to cause number 99, the state of Betty Jean Greco.
Yes, Your Honor, I'm
Oh,
present on.
good morning.
Good
You may
morning.
proceed.
All right, Your Honor, my name is Roy Fuller. I'm representing the applicant, Melissa Jean Hicks, the daughter of the decedent, Betty Greco. The decedent died on August the 30th, 2024 in Chambers County, Texas. She was 73 years of age. 4 years have not elapsed since the date of her death. At the time of her death, she was a resident domicile in Chambers County. The original will is dated January, excuse me, the 7th, 2021, which has been filed with the court. To my knowledge, that will has never been revoked. There is a necessity for administration. There were no children born or adopted after the execution of the will. The decedent did not have a marriage that was dissolved after the execution of the will. The decedent named the daughter, Melissa Jean Hicks, to serve as independent executor, and to my knowledge, there's no reason why she'd be disqualified. The will does not name the state, the governmental agency of the state, or a charitable organization as a devotee. It's a non-taxable estate. We'd ask the court to waive the appraisers and admit the will to probate and appoint Melissa Jean Hicks as independent executor.
So done. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Judge.
Good day.
Good day.
All right, back to Mr. Davidson, cause number 68. Mr.
Okay, Your
Sprague,
Honor,
try it again.
we're gonna see, he's gonna unmute his microphone and see if he can speak, and if that doesn't work, I've got him on a telephone and we can make it work.
Okay. Unmute yourself, Mr. Sprague.
Okay. Mr. Sprague, just say something so the court can hear you.
This is Joseph Sprague.
We can hear you. You can proceed.
Okay,
Counselor.
yeah, he's just going through my telephone, but if I can proceed.
That's good. Go.
All right, please state your name for the court.
Joseph Aaron Sprague.
And the decedent, Arlene David Sprague, was your mom?
That is correct.
And she died on April 22nd, 2024, Baytown, Harris County, Texas, at the age of 69, and 4 years have not passed since her death, have they?
Correct.
And she had a fixed place of residence here in Chambers County at the time of her death, is that right?
That's correct.
And there is a necessity for administration of your mom's estate, isn't there?
Yes, there is.
And you've applied for the court to appoint you as independent administrator of her estate without bond, is that right?
Yes, I did.
And you are not disqualified to serve in that capacity, are you?
I was never disqualified for that.
And so, Your Honor, we're asking that Joseph Aaron Sprague be appointed as independent administrator of the estate without bond.
So done. Thank you, Counselor. And I also approved the $600 on that item fee. Thank you, Counselor. We'll go to your next one.
Very good.
Let's see, cause number 97, the state of Sharon Souders.
All right.
And you may proceed.
Okay. I call my first witness. Please state your name for the court.
Mindy Murray Sitton.
Be sure and speak up so everyone can hear you.
Mindy Murray Sitton.
And Sharon Souders was your mom, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your mom passed on April 30th, 2022, Chambers County, Texas, at the age of 66, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And she had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the time of her death, giving this court jurisdiction and venue, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And to the best of your knowledge, the document that's been filed with the court, which was dated January 19th of 2022, which purports to be her last will and testament, was never revoked, was it?
Yes.
Your Honor, I would request that the court take judicial notice that the original will is in the court's possession.
Hold on.
After the date of this will, there were no children born to or adopted by your mom, were there?
No, sir.
And there were no marriages dissolved after the date of the will, were there?
No, sir.
And neither the state, a governmental agency, or charitable organization is named in the will as a devisee, are they?
No, sir.
And you and your sister Holly Marie Guidry were named in your mom's will to serve as independent co-executors, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you are qualified and not disqualified to serve in that capacity, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness, but I've got, I'm gonna get you to slide this way a little bit, Holly. Holly has also been sworn. You were named in your mom's will to serve as independent co-executor, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And you are qualified and not disqualified to serve in that capacity, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we're asking that the last will and testament of Sharon Souders be admitted to probate and that Minnie Marie Sitton and Holly Marie Guidry be appointed as independent co-executors without bond.
So done. Thank you, Counselor.
Go far.
You get-
Okay, you ready for the next one?
I'm ready for you on cause number 98. You may proceed.
Okay, again, state your name for the court.
Mindy Marie Sitton.
And Earl Ray Souders, was also known as Earl Souders, was your dad, right?
Yes, sir.
And your dad passed away August 31st, 2024 in Mont Belvieu, Chambers County, Texas. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And again, he had a fixed place of residence in Chambers County at the time of his death.
Yes, sir.
And to the best of your knowledge, the document that's been filed with the court, which purports to be his what last will and testament, also dated January 19th of 2022, was never revoked, was it?
No, sir.
There is a necessity to administer his estate, isn't there?
Yes, sir.
There were no children born to or adopted by your dad after the date of the will, were there?
No, sir.
And there was no marriage dissolved after the date of the will, was there?
Correct. Yes, sir.
Neither the state, a governmental agency, or charitable organization is named in the will as a devisee, are they?
No, sir.
And you and your sister Holly again are named as independent co-executors of this estate, and you are qualified and not disqualified to serve in that capacity. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I pass this witness.
No questions.
Okay, and Holly, ask you real quickly, you also were named and you are qualified and not disqualified to serve as independent co-executor. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we're asking that the will of Earl Ray Souders, also known as Earl Souders, be admitted to probate. That Minnie Marie Sitton and Holly Marie Guidry be appointed as independent co-executors without bond.
Well done. Thank you, Counselor.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
You may be.
Thank you for your patience today.
Yeah. All right, cause number 89, said Ricardo Rafael Gonzalez. Ms. Gonzalez, where are you? Would you unmute yourself, please?
Okay.
All right, I can hear you now. Okay, so there's some things that aren't quite finished on the small estate affidavit. If you'll call my office, she'll direct you in the right direction to go so you can get what needs to get done on there.
Okay.
And then that number's 409. You got a pen?
Yes, sir. Let me grab one.
Okay.
Okay.
409
Mm-hmm.
267
Mm-hmm.
2440. You
Okay.
talk to Morangeli.
Okay.
All right. With that, court's adjourned. Thank you all.